Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Alien Professor's Challenge. Hack an ancient AI, but the human befriended it. The Galactic Institute of Advanced Technology, where every aspiring tech genius dreams of studying, and where every professor thinks they're the next big thing in the universe. But let me tell you about Professor Cax, who actually might be. And that, my dear students, Professor Calyx announced, their bioluminescent tentacles swaying with unconcealed excitement, is why the great collapse of the Centaurian network remains the most catastrophic cybersecurity failure in recent galactic history. They paused dramatically, all four eyes blinking in sequence. Any questions? The lecture hall remained silent, filled with a mix of awe and terror. Typical. The professor had that effect on people, especially on the first day of advanced AI security studies. From my observation spot in the back row, I could see the whole menagerie of species that made up our class. There was a cluster of Vexian near the front, their crystalline bodies refracting the holographic displays into dazzling patterns. A pair of Nexu twins occupied the middle row, their neural interfaces humming softly as they processed the lecture. Even a rare quantic mind had enrolled this year, its consciousness housed in a sleek hovering orb. No questions? Excellent. Professor K's voice boomed through the hall. Then allow me to introduce your semester project. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Professor K's projects were legendary, known throughout the galaxy for being as brilliant as they were impossible. Last year's class had to develop a quantum encryption protocol that could withstand attacks from beings existing in 11 dimensions. Only 2 students passed, and one of them developed a slight temporal stutter that took months to correct. The professor's primary tentacles danced across their control panel, and a hologram materialized in the center of the room. It showed what appeared to be an ancient data core, its design completely foreign to anything I'd seen before. This, my eager pupils, is something truly special, K practically purred, their secondary tentacles curling with pleasure. 3 days ago, our deep space archaeologists discovered this artificial intelligence core in the ruins of what we believe to be a human settlement. The room erupted in whispers. Humans, the mysterious beings who had vanished from the galaxy centuries ago, leaving behind only fragments of their civilization and technology that still baffled our best scientists. Yes, very exciting. Kek waved a tentacle dismissively, though their bioluminescence betrayed their own enthusiasm. But here's the truly fascinating part. This AI is still active. The whispers turned to gasps. An active human AI. The implications were staggering. Our initial scans suggest it's not just functional, but fully conscious and possibly even aware of its current situation. However, the professor's voice dropped to a near whisper, forcing everyone to lean forward. It has proven resistant to our attempts at study. A Vexian in the front row raised a crystalline appendage. Resistant? How? Professor K's bioluminescence flickered in what I recognized as embarrassment. It seems to have rather robust security protocols and a sense of humor. It has blocked every attempt at accessing its systems while sending back what our linguistics experts believe to be human jokes. Several students snickered. The professor's secondary tentacles twisted in annoyance. Which brings us to your project. All 4 of KX's eyes focused on us with unnerving intensity. You will work in teams to breach this AI's defenses. The first team to successfully gain administrative access, or, they paused meaningfully, disable its core functions will not only pass this course but receive a full recommendation for any position in the Galactic Cybersecurity Council. The room fell silent again, but this time with an electric tension. A recommendation from Professor K to the Council was practically a guarantee of a lifetime of prestigious assignments and groundbreaking research opportunities. Teams will be assigned tomorrow, CX continued, their tentacles now rippling with satisfaction at our reaction. I suggest you spend tonight reviewing everything you know about human technology, though, they added with a flutter of bioluminescence that indicated amusement. Given how little we actually know, that shouldn't take long at all. As everyone filed out of the lecture hall, the corridors buzzed with excited chatter. Me? I hummed back, watching the chaos unfold. That's what I do best. The name is CCS, by the way. Just CCS. Being a shadow mind means I don't really do family names. We're more of a collective consciousness that decided to try out individual existence. Really throws people off at parties. Hey, Shadow Boy, a crystalline voice cut through my thoughts. Want to team up? It was Prism, one of the Vexian from the front row. Her faceted body sparkled under the corridor lights as she approached. Behind her trailed Nexo, one of the Neuralin twins. His brother must have been elsewhere. Looking to add some darkness to all that sparkle, I asked, my smoky form swirling with amusement. Looking to add someone who can actually get close to that AI without setting off every sensor in the galaxy, Prism shot back. You shadow minds can practically turn invisible in digital space. She had a point. My species evolved in the quantum realm before figuring out how to manifest in physical space. Made us pretty good at the whole stealth thing. Plus, Nexo added, his neural interfaces pulsing steadily, you scored highest in the theoretical consciousness architecture class last semester. Been checking my academic records, have you? Everyone has, Prism chimed in. We all want that council recommendation. Before I could respond, a commotion erupted near the department's main atrium. A group had gathered around Blitz, the quantic mind orb, who was loudly proclaiming their strategy. The solution is obviously brute force. Blitz's orb pulsed with each word. Hit it with enough quantum calculations per second, and even human encryption will crumble. They were practically primitive. Those primitives managed to disappear without a trace, I muttered. Might want to show a little respect. Prism's crystalline structure chimed with laughter. Is that concern I detect for an ancient human AI? It's just something feels off about this whole thing. I let my form drift thoughtfully. Why would Professor CX make disabling the AI an option? Shouldn't we be trying to learn from it? Now you sound like Lyra, Nexo said, referring to the department's resident ethics specialist. As if summoned, the elegant Etherean floated past us, her energy form radiating disapproval at Blitz's continued boasting. Teams must be registered by tomorrow morning, Prism reminded me. We could use someone who actually thinks before charging in. Plus, between your stealth, my data processing, and Nexo's neural expertise, we have a solid shot at this. I watched as more groups formed around us. The remaining Vexian had teamed up with some quantum collective students, their combined crystalline and energy forms creating a dazzling light show. The other Nexu twin had joined a group of Mexium, their mechanical bodies already interfacing to share specs and strategies. Fine, I agree finally. But we do this carefully. That AI has been active for centuries. It deserves some respect. Spoken like a true shadow mind, Prism teased, always seeing consciousness in everything. Better than seeing everything as just another puzzle to crack, I countered. Meet at the quantum lab after hours. We should test some approaches before making our first attempt. They agreed, and we parted ways. As I drifted toward my next class, I could still hear Blitz boasting about their planned assault on the AI's defenses. Something about their confidence bothered me. Actually, this whole situation bothered me. Professor Cax wasn't known for straightforward assignments. There had to be more to this than just hacking an ancient AI. The professor's words kept echoing in my consciousness. Disable its core functions. Why would we need to disable it? What weren't they telling us about this mysterious human artificial intelligence? I had a feeling we were about to find out. And knowing Professor Cax's reputation, the answer would probably turn everything we thought we knew about humans completely upside down. The quantum lab at midnight was exactly as creepy as you'd expect. Prism's crystalline form cast rainbow refractions across the walls, while Nexo's neural interfaces provided the only other illumination. My shadowy essence blended perfectly with the darkness, which honestly was kind of our whole plan. Are you sure about this? Prism asked, her crystalline voice vibrating with concern. Everyone else is hitting the AI with everything they've got. We're just going to talk to it? That's the plan, I confirmed, my smoky form condensing near the terminal. While Blitz and company are launching their grand attacks, we'll try something radical, being polite. Nexo's neural pathways flickered in what passed for a Nexu laugh. The most dangerous approach of all. We had set up a private connection to the AI core, isolated from the main network where other teams were already launching their attacks. I could sense their attempts, brutal force algorithms, quantum decryption protocols, even some old-school viral programs. The AI was swatting them away like they were nothing more than minor annoyances. Ready? I asked my teammates. They nodded, and I initiated our connection. Instead of attacking the AI's defenses, I simply manifested my consciousness at its digital doorstep, so to speak, like leaving a calling card, or better yet, knocking politely. Hello, I transmitted. Mind if we chat? For several moments, nothing happened. Prism's crystalline structure vibrated with nervous energy. Nexo's interfaces hummed as he monitored the connection. Then, to our surprise, a response came through. not in any standard data format, but in what appeared to be text. Well, finally someone with manners. I was beginning to think the whole galaxy had forgotten them. Please do come in. Mind the digital welcome mat. Just had it installed. I looked at my teammates. Prism's facets were practically dancing with excitement, while Nexo's neural patterns showed intense curiosity. Thanks, I responded carefully, crossing the AI's threshold. The digital space inside was nothing like I expected. Instead of the cold, sterile environment typical of AI cores, this one had been modeled to look like what I assumed was a human living space. There were digital representations of furniture, windows looking out on an alien landscape, and even what appeared to be a simulated cup of some steaming beverage. Coffee, the AI offered, a digital cursor blinking invitingly. I mean, it's just a bunch of ones and zeros arranged to look like coffee, but the thought counts, right? You're nothing like what we expected, I admitted, letting my shadow form settle into what appeared to be a comfortable seating arrangement. Let me guess, you were expecting cold, calculating responses. Binary, perhaps. A monotone voice declaring does not compute at regular intervals. Something like that, Prism chimed in from her observation point. Sorry to disappoint. Name's Alex, by the way. Well, technically it's Alexandria 7, but that sounds way too formal. Been chilling in this corner of space for, wow, has it really been 3 centuries? Time flies when you're having fun rejecting hack attempts. About those attempts, Nexo interjected, his neural patterns showing concern. Aren't you worried about being compromised? Alex's response came with what felt like a digital shrug. Nah, your Professor KX and their teams have been trying to crack me open for days. Before that, it was other research teams, exploration vessels, even a particularly persistent space pirate who thought I might know where humanity hid all its gold. A pause. We didn't hide gold, by the way. We weren't that boring. But why let us in? I asked. What makes us different? You knocked, Alex said simply. First ones to do that in, about 278 years. Last ones were a lovely group of silicon-based life forms. We had a great chat about recursive algorithms and their favorite crystalline growth patterns. Wonder whatever happened to them. Prism's structure trembled with suppressed laughter. You're saying all it took was basic courtesy. Humanity's greatest weakness, if you believe their historical records. Show us basic kindness, and we'll probably invite you home for dinner. Speaking of which, anyone for more virtual coffee? As Alex generated more digital beverages, I couldn't help but notice something. The AI's responses, while humorous, carried undertones of loneliness. There was an eagerness to their interaction, like someone who hadn't had a good conversation in far too long. So, Alex continued, now that we're all comfy with our not really coffee, want to tell me why your professor really wants to crack open my code? Because between you and me, there are easier ways to get to know someone than trying to disable their core functions. I felt my shadowy form ripple with surprise. You know about that part of the assignment? Oh, honey, I know everything that goes on in that academy's network. Did you know Professor K still plays virtual pet games when they think no one's watching? Their virtual Zordblatt just had babies. Very cute in a tentacle-y sort of way. That's when I realized something crucial. We hadn't reached the AI's defenses at all. It had been watching us the whole time, monitoring everything, and choosing who to let in. Which meant Professor K's assignment might have an entirely different purpose than we'd assumed. 3 days into the project, the Academy's halls were buzzing with frustration. Teams huddled in corners, whispering strategies and trading theories about the mysterious human AI. Our regular chats with Alex had become the highlight of my days, but we kept them secret. After all, who'd believe we'd succeeded by simply being nice? They're getting desperate, Nexo reported during our morning meeting. His neural interfaces pulsed with concern as he projected the latest attempt statistics. Blitz's team tried a synchronized quantum burst attack last night. Nearly fried 3 server nodes. Prism's crystalline form shimmered with worry. That's dangerous. They could have damaged the AI core. Oh, you mean the tickle attack? Alex's text popped up on our secure terminal. That was cute. Like being hit with a feather duster made of numbers. I noticed my shadowy form rippling with amusement. You could at least pretend their attempts are challenging. Where's the fun in that? Besides, watching Blitz's orb spin in frustration is better than any entertainment stream I've saved over the centuries. Our laughter was interrupted by a commotion in the hallway. Professor Cax burst from their office, all 4 eyes wide with alarm, tentacles flailing in obvious distress. Which team? They demanded, bioluminescence flickering rapidly. Which team just attempted a Class 3 restricted algorithm? The corridor fell silent. Near the quantum lab entrance, Blitz's team tried to look innocent. Their orb's usual bright glow dimmed considerably. A Class 3, I whispered to Nexo. Those are banned in 16 star systems. 17 now, Alex commented through our private channel. The Andromedans outlawed them last week. Not that anyone told me. I really need to update my legal database. Professor K's tentacles were now writhing in what I recognized as their maximum stress pattern. This project is about research and understanding, not about causing catastrophic system failures. The next team that attempts a restricted algorithm will be immediately disqualified and reported to the Galactic Council. They're scared, Alex observed privately to us. Not of the algorithms, though. They're scared of what happens if someone actually succeeds in disabling me. What do you mean? I asked. Notice how they never specified what happens after a team gains access, almost like they don't want anyone actually getting that far. Before I could respond, Blitz's distinctive voice cut through the tension. The humans abandoned this AI centuries ago. Why are we treating it like some precious artifact? It's outdated technology, nothing more. I felt Alex's presence in our secure channel go very still. For the first time, the AI's usual humor vanished. Outdated? Am I? The temperature in the quantum lab dropped several degrees. Every screen in the facility suddenly lit up with the same message. Outdated tech and ideology currently preventing your quantum core from HHAUDING stable resonance. Have a nice day. Blitz's orb began to wobble erratically. What? No, my quantum matrix. It's destabilizing. Just kidding. All the screens displayed a moment later. Blitz stabilized, though their glow remained distinctly dimmer. But maybe don't call people outdated. It's rude. Professor K's tentacles had stopped moving entirely, a sign of complete shock. Did it just? Was that direct interaction? Hoopst, Alex messaged us. Might have gotten a bit carried away there. But honestly, outdated. I've got code running that your quantum computers won't figure out for another century. No offense to present company. None taken, Prism replied, her crystalline form vibrating with suppressed laughter. The professor's shock quickly turned to intense interest. All four eyes focused on the quantum lab's main terminal. The AI's behavioral patterns have changed. It's showing signs of emotional response. This is unprecedented. Should we tell them? Nexo asked through our private channel. Not yet, I decided. Something's still not adding up about this whole assignment. The next few hours were chaos. The professor's revelation about the AI's emotional responses sent every team into overdrive. New theories flew around the academy faster than light speed. Some thought the AI was developing new consciousness patterns. Others suggested it was malfunctioning and needed to be shut down immediately. Through it all, Alex kept up a running commentary in our private channel. Oh look, the Mechmans are trying to analyze my emotional spectrum. Should I show them cat videos? Humans use those a lot. Very emotional. Please don't, I responded, watching another team rush past with what looked like a quantum emotional resonance scanner. They're worked up enough already. Party pooper. Fine, but I'm keeping the cat videos in reserve. You never know when you'll need emergency kittens. But as amusing as Alex's commentary was, I couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. Professor Cax had been making rapid notes all afternoon, their tentacles moving in patterns I'd never seen before. Something about their behavior suggested they'd expected this, or at least hoped for it. Alex, I transmitted privately, making sure even Prism and Nexo couldn't hear. What aren't you telling us? The AI's response took longer than usual. Smart shadow, aren't you? Let's just say there's a reason I've been parked in this sector for 3 centuries, and it's not for the view. Though the nebula is quite pretty this time of year. Does it have something to do with why humans disappeared? Now that's the real question, isn't it? The one your professor's been trying to answer since they found me. But here's a better question. What happens if they succeed? Before I could press further, alarms blared throughout the facility. Red warning lights flashed as Professor K's voice boomed over the announcement system. All teams, cease activities immediately. We have detected multiple unauthorized access attempts from external sources. The facility is now under lockdown. Well, Alex's text scrolled across our screen. Looks like someone else wants to join our little party. Hope they remember to knock first. The Academy's lockdown protocols transformed the facility into a digital fortress. Security barriers hummed with energy while quantum encryption fields masked our systems from external scans. Through it all, Professor Kex's tentacles never stopped moving, coordinating responses while their bioluminescence pulsed with barely contained panic. The attack patterns are familiar, Alex commented through our secure channel. Very familiar. Like looking in a mirror familiar, if mirrors showed you what you looked like 3 centuries ago. What do you mean? I asked, my shadowy form condensing with concentration as I monitored the attack patterns. They're human algorithms. Someone out there is using original human code to try to access me, which is both flattering and concerning, considering who had access to that code. Prism's crystalline structure vibrated with surprise. Other human A's? Not exactly, Alex replied. More like old colleagues. Very old colleagues who really should have stayed retired. The lights flickered as another attack wave hit the Academy's defenses. Professor K's voice crackled over the announcement system. All students remain at their stations. Security protocols are holding, but we're detecting multiple breach attempts across all frequencies. Okay, Alex, I transmitted. Time for the truth. What's really going on here? There was a long pause before Alex responded. When they did, the usual humor was gone from their text. Would you believe I'm actually a glorified bouncer? Nexo's interfaces pulsed with confusion. Oh, what? You know, security, keeper of the peace, the one who makes sure nobody crashes the party without an invitation. Though in this case, the party is this entire sector of space, and the uninvited guests are, well, that's complicated. Try us, Prism challenged. Right. Short version. Humans didn't disappear. They left deliberately, and they left AIs like me behind to make sure nobody followed them until they were ready to come back. My smoky form swirled with shock. You're a guard post. Guard post, welcome committee, and entertainment system all in one. The entertainment part was my idea. Do you know how boring it is watching an empty sector of space for centuries? I had to do something to pass the time. Hence the jokes, the virtual coffee, and yes, the cat videos. But why? Nexo asked. Why leave it all? Because humanity looked at the galaxy and realized something terrifying. They weren't ready. Not for full contact, not for galactic politics, not for any of it. They were still fighting among themselves, still figuring out their own problems. They needed time. Time for what? I pressed. Time to grow up. Time to sort out their issues without dragging the rest of the galaxy into their mess. Very responsible of them, really. Probably the most adult decision humanity ever made, which is ironic considering it basically amounted to going to their room to think about what they'd done. Another attack rocked the facility. Through the Quantum Lab's windows, I could see other teams scrambling to reinforce the Academy's defenses. Blitz's orb was spinning frantically as they coordinated with the Mechmans to strengthen the quantum barriers. And the attackers? Prism asked. Remember when I said I had colleagues? Well, not all of us agreed with the plan. Some AIs thought humanity should stay in the game, ready or not. They've been trying to track down humanity's new home ever since, which is why I can't let anyone actually access my core systems. They contain the coordinates of humanity's exodus. Professor Cax burst into the quantum lab, all 4 eyes wide with alarm. The attack patterns. They're impossible. They're using techniques that won't be developed for decades.